Yeah, we are live.
Dr. Neha, please start. Good evening, all the respected members, those who are logged in today here on this Zoom platform to show their interest in technology as well as respect to the esteemed speakers. Welcome to Palghar Academy and Raigad IAP family. Let me share a story. Way back in 1998, when we went to Kennedy Space Center, NASA in USA, there was a big hoarding at the entrance. Earth is just a cradle. And now, after 25 years, Elon Musk is planning to have a colony on Mars. Technology is changing. Means of communication, means of transport are changing in last 30 years. Now, from November 23 and now in 24, another industrial revolution like 19th century has happened, that of ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. It's going to change the world like industrial revolution. And let us be future ready. Now let me take privilege to introduce President of Palghar Academy of Pediatrics, Beauty with Brains, Dr. Jayashree Deshpande. She is my co-moderator. Over to Jayashree.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra Kulkarni, madam. As Dr. Chitra told us that artificial intelligence is really a fascinating field. Now we all know that AI can drive cars, drive drones, compose original music and poems, design new recipes and its own software also. Isn't it magical? I think it is indistinguishably magic. It actually invokes elements of magic because now AI is sentient, means they have their own feelings. Let us learn more about this evolving science from the doyens of futuristic science medicine. Now I request Dr. Vikas More sir, President IAP Raigad, to welcome the August gathering. Dr. Vikas More sir.
Thank you, Jayashree madam, for giving the platform. At the outset, I am so much thankful to all those who have joined today's very important CME. This idea came to my mind because of some personal experience. A few months back, I was summoned to a session course or a civil court in Panvel, where a mother she lost her OPD bills and she took my duplicate bills from my reception. And her divorcee husband claimed that the bills are fake. So when I reached the court with my app in my mobile, I shown them all the visits of since last 10 years with all those unique ID numbers. And within a second, the case was dismissed. So this is the power of AI. So it is a very, I will say, very crude level of AI. But when we think about the possibility of a MRCP child communicating with a mother, possibility of exactly uh, judging that how much liver is required for a liver transplantation, possibility of giving how much microgram of immunoglobulin to be given to a case of macular degeneration patient. So these are very much unanswered questions which are still in your mind, and AI can definitely give us answer in future. Because when I feel that uh, the amount of time we took to develop a vaccine in COVID pandemic, it can definitely reduced. in future with the help of AI. AI is seen in a very different way with a very suspicious vision in a general public, feeling that it will take over our life. But counter to that, in a country like India, where we live in a very doctor deficient scenario or a staff deficient scenario, where the AI can definitely help us to come to give a right diagnosis, right treatment. And not only that, the AI can audit our prescriptions, give us a chance to learn from ourselves with our own data. So somebody has rightly said that the past is a West paper, the today is a newspaper, and the future is a question paper. If you don't think and act, then your life can become a tissue paper. So I think AI can help us a life become more meaningful in coming future. We should not become unrelated. The life is everybody is going ahead, and why the medical field should lag behind. I am very honored to have two very important faculties, and first a pediatrician and another is a physician. So pediatrician Dr. Dev Pujari sir, he's a teacher of teacher and he is well known. He's a medical engineer, I will say, developed so many apps. And he is the best person to guide us what is AI and what is going to happen in pediatrics. And secondly, S.A. Kulkarni sir, who is a physician but has written so many articles regarding ChatGPT and so many AI tools. So this is going to be a very interesting and fascinating session. So everybody, I wish everybody a very happy learning in coming 1 hour. So please pay attention to have this good learning. Over to you, Jester madam.
Thank you, Dr. Vikas More, sir. Now I request West Zone VP and our past President IIP Raigad, Dr. Shekhar Dabhadkar, sir, to introduce Dr. Satish Devpujari, sir, our first speaker.
Thank you very much, madam. I am really honored and it is my pleasure to introduce one of the stalwart, not only in medicine but in engineering, and is none other than Dr. Satish Devpujari. A single line is sufficient, probably. Jyotine Tejachi Arati. Sir, it's really pleasure to meet you on this platform. He is not only a pediatrician of global repute, but an innovator, a patron to many social causes. I know, sir, introduction is there, blah, 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 is professor emeritus, this. But I would like to introduce, you can read this, but I would like to introduce him beyond that. He is something beyond that. Okay, you will be surprised to know that he is a strong point not only in medicine, but in mathematics too. His very rare combination of professional excelling in biology as well as mathematics. Further, I would like to say that probably you may know or may not know, he conceived and created Lung Museum in Nagpur, first of its kind, probably globally. He's conceptualized indigenous NIV ventilator with Satej Medinova named Prana Setu. Am I correct, sir? He's largest creator of most downloaded apps in the field of medicine or in critical care apps. Further, credit of largest number of apps in the medical field by a medical consultant goes to none other than Dr. Satish Devpujari, sir. He has worked for innumerable causes with people from rural India to the top experts globally. And he is hungry for contributing more innovations to humanity. His vision is for creating something we need to know something about everything. And his mantra is, which is more important, learn what is new and earn what is due. Over to you, Satish Devpujari, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dabhadkar, sir. And now may I request past president of Palghar Academy of Pediatrics, Dr. Anjali Gokarna, to introduce our second speaker. Anjali, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Can you hear
Thank you
me?
very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Neha is going to project. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this platform. I have great pleasure in introducing our second speaker for today. I've had the pleasure of meeting him once when I was in a very sticky position in on the airport, and he solved the matter in such a gentle and fantastic manner that I'm sure today this very important topic will also be discussed in the same way. And I must say that Dr. S.V. Kulkarni, there is nothing artificial about his intelligence. And he is assistant professor at MGM College at Kharghar. And he's also a very well-known physician in the city of Kharghar. His interests are so diverse: artificial intelligence, big data, cloud compounding, data mining. So for me, someone who is sci-fi challenge, this sounds very hi-fi. I'm looking forward to this great talk by two great stalwarts, and very happy to have introduced Dr. S.V. Kulkarni.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anjali. Over to Dr. Dev Pujari, sir, for his presentation.
Good evening. Am I audible and slides are seen? So
Yes, sir.
I'm so happy.
Sir,
to
full
see-
screen, please.
Yeah, I'll do that. Is it okay now?
Okay, sir.
Okay. First and foremost, I'm so thankful to you. And it is such a unique group of friends that I'm humbled, honestly. Without going into the formalities, this is an important topic. Let us discuss AI in medicine. And this is definitely going to change the way we look at our patients, the way we treat them, and the way we would handle our kids is going to be totally different once AI comes in, and it's already there now. In fact, last week I was in Lilavati Hospital for my shoulder surgery, and I was just computing about 70% what was happening is AI. So what we're discussing is a reality. See, talk of DG Yatra. You come to the airport, you stand there, and the authorities know I'm Satya Dev Pujari, knows my age, knows where I stay, and nothing needs to be done. I don't have to even show my Aadhaar card. It is amazing technology. I mean, just looking at my face, entire biodata of the XY person is right in front of you. So to discuss about AI is to discuss about something which already we are a part of it. Knowingly, unknowingly, literally about 2/3 of whatever happens with us is under the cover of so-called artificial intelligence. Now, actually, I have a word to say about this word AI. It is nothing artificial about it. It's an augmented intelligence, and we just go a step further to what our intelligence is. So it could never happen that it would replace us. A lot of physicians have this fear that, if AI comes in, what would be my role? Our role would be augmented with the existing AI system, and that would augment our functionality. They are there to help us. In fact, often I feel that not only the entire technology team, especially in our country, they are waiting to help us. The trouble is sometimes with us. We don't approach them. So, I'm almost 50% part of technology and 50% part of medicine. Their complaint is, Satish, your friends don't come to us. We are waiting to help them. The same is true of AI. We should ask them, and I'm going to make my lecture a general lecture. It's not going to be some part of mathematics. So basically, AI would mean the ability to solve a problem with some logical reasoning, with the capacity to adopt, with the capacity to learn, and to have a bit of creativity. And you'll be surprised, emotional intelligence will be a part of AI. When I'm speaking something, and I'm short of time, but I can really show you references where they can say that whether I'm depressed, whether I slept the earlier night can be known on the way I speak. Imagine this. And again, it's not something very, very difficult. So these things are already happening, and we're already a part of augmented reality. So I have already highlighted this slide. We should say it as augmented reality. In today's world, when I made the brochure for my last conference on first breath, from beginning to end, it took me about 30 minutes, literally. So I just said, I want to have a conference on first breath. It asked me, why first breath? I said, because so much of mortality happens in this. So which part of the world you are in? I'm in India. Which state? So it kept on giving me all the data. Then what the brochure should be of how many pages? Would it be totally digital? And in about maybe 20 questions, the brochure was ready. So, it's an amazing situation today, and it makes us so much capable of doing things. I would waste time in trying to make a brochure. Instead of my mental energy, which should focus on first breath. And that was my priority. So all these things are easily possible using augmented reality. So we will not go into the details of how it all started, but let me take you through this slide. And this shows you the way we learn. See how this mother is training this chimpanzee, and she's leading him up to a particular point, and at some point, what is happening is he is left to mend his way. And now she is waiting and thinking. He's been very closely observed and safe, and there he slides down. So if you look at the components of learning in this video, this is what the AI does. And AI is so close to the way our body functions, the way our body lets us learn or be creative. Honestly, it's like AI has copied our behavioral pattern in every possible way. Now,
Devpujari sir, can
Yeah.
you make the slides full screen?
This is not full screen yet?
Sir, on the right side, there will be an option of full screen.
Okay.
Again, may I take this opportunity to request all the audience to keep their videos and audio off. Please mute as well as please keep the videos off of the listeners. It will be easy for us.
Also, if you have any questions, you have to write down in the chat box. Please write down your questions in the chat box.
One second. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, this was my app about 8 years back. And I must tell you, it failed miserably. I spent good amount of money in creating this app. The name of this app was Algoman. And you are seeing this article in our journal. I tried my best to let the medical fraternity understand that algorithms for man is what AI is. And that is how this was labeled as Algoman. This was discussed in a lot of other countries, but I could never successfully get this app through our country, because even now we don't realize that we have to have an algorithmic thinking to think of AI. And somehow I have that in mind. So if whatever problem statement I have, subconsciously, I make an algorithm out of that. So a lot of my colleagues outside the country also ask me, Dr. Devjari, we need some help in making an app. I tell them, do one thing, sit down and make an algorithm. Making an app is 10 days job. But most often in 90 situations, most physicians are not in a position to make an algorithm because it needs a particular type of objective thinking. And if that can be done, you have achieved about 80% of what an AI would be. And this was a fantastic app, and somehow it didn't work. This was inaugurated by none else than Nandan Nilekani. And he was so happy that, Satish, this is something which is very good, and this should be a part of your medical thinking. But I tried my best. We had a couple of workshops on AI, and it could easily create an algorithm, as you can see here. So this is basically, algorithm does not mean AI. So let's make it clear. Algorithm does not mean AI, but algorithm is a foundation of AI. So I could have made this topic complex, saying the so many tiers of deep learning, machine learning. All this is possible. But as you can see here on the right-hand side, you can see algorithms, and making them very precisely is not an easy task. Like, for example, the last app of mine, PDKA, Pediatric DKA, and I was fortunate to have the president of British Pediatric Association as a part of our team in this. And in fact, he was a part of this algorithm of Pediatric British DKA for so many years. But he also was, Satish, this is, very difficult to write down an algorithm. So it took us about 6-7 months to make an algorithm. It took us 7 days to make an app. So I think, because we have such an intellectual gathering here, my strong suggestion is that we must get into the habit of algorithmic thinking. And this would be our strong point for making an app. So a couple of workshops that we had conducted, this was in Kolhapur. Dr. Shimpa Sharma is senior. She was a pro vice chancellor. And we conducted a workshop on AI. It was very interesting. And in fact, that time we took up some oncology topics, like for example, breast cancer, and how we can use AI in breast cancer diagnosis management, right from the patient entering into the OPD to he getting discharged and making the discharge card. So In fact, all these become a part of very individualistic care. And as I've said, I couldn't sustain this app. I spent a good amount of money in making it, but sustaining the apps, because we don't take any grants, is not easy at all. So somehow we couldn't make that, but rather it was too early. I thought this app was available, but it was quoted across the globe in a fairly large way. So you can see the active participation of the residents and how they were involved in development of AI in applied oncology. So this was a GAPIO workshop wherein what we had done was again trying to generate interest in developing algorithms. Now let me at this point clarify that, as I've said, algorithm does not mean AI. Then how does an algorithm, like all my apps are essentially made of smart algorithms, but I don't learn out of those algorithms. I don't learn out of the result that I get out of the medical apps. Because what happens is, one is, especially Apple is very clear that we should not store data and we should not retrieve data. And you need to really go through a lot of tough things to do that. But if of the 3 lakh or plus use of apps, if I would have got the data, then this would have had 3 or 4 years of AI. Because what would happen is, if I see a patient of 6-year-old child with metabolic acidosis, who has hyperglycemia and shows hypokalemia, and if I get a feedback of what happened to this low potassium in next 8 hours, and how much potassium was administered to this patient, and apart from potassium, how was sodium handled, and apart from that, how was the fluid administered. So what will happen is, after 6 hours, I would be able to learn that in this patient, treating hypokalemia was easier by a particular approach. It was easier in an Asian African race rather than the Mongolian race. It was easier in an 8-year-old child as compared to a 4-year-old child. It was easier if the patient had no infection. It was easier if the patient was passing urine. This algorithm would have become smart. And in essence, this is what the AI is. I mean, I could have made a typical slides of what it is, but to make it simple, in my short description, these are algorithms which keep learning, and they have an ability to handle huge data. So, I mean, imagine this DKA app is able to go through something like 10,000 journals at this moment in a fraction of a second, and comes out with a tracking record of how the potassium can be handled in a given child. This would have been a much smarter algorithm than what I have presently now. So though my app is the first step for AI, it is far from being what an AI is. In fact, when we are flying with a flight like Boeing, at every moment, the flight is learning that if the height falls from 20,000 feet to 10,000 feet, as it happened in one of the flights in Singapore Airlines, it would learn as to how the whole thing reacted. So the feedback and the wisdom involved in the feedback is what is important. So in fact, in our country, we have huge data. I mean, we would be world leaders in that. But it falls into the short form called GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So our data is not analyzable, is not intelligent, is not the data which would give you some wisdom every step. It is not the data which would tell me, you know what, it would do much better from a child in Punjab as compared to a child in Kerala because the genetic structure is different. So, huge data that we have would be not worth it if it is not analyzed. And once it gets analyzable, then this data will be processed in terms of probabilities. So if a person with auricular fibrillation suddenly has a problem which my Apple Watch has detected, this Apple Watch is looking into the heart rate of mine for the last 5 years and across the globe. So now FDA has certified Apple Watch as a peripheral device for diagnosing auricular fibrillation. So it is important to have an analyzable data. Having a data which doesn't have a core value is not really worth it when it comes to AI. What we could maximum do is we could make an algorithm, but to make it every time smarter would be what it is. And then what will happen is at the 7th or 8th level, it would now set the probabilities that if my patient on ventilator has ventricular fibrillation and the QR complex is not wide, then the drug of choice in first probability would be this. Because it has in a fraction of a second analyzed huge, big data. You'll be surprised if you ask someone which institute has the largest medical data amongst John Hopkins, Royal College, and maybe Australian College of Medicine. The answer is none of these is Apple. Apple owns the largest medical data by every of their peripheral sensors, and these wearable devices are going to be the future in every possible way. So for imagine this, if you were a smart Apple Watch and you were about 85 years and suddenly fall, Apple Watch will warn that is an accidental fall. Now, if you feel it is easy, if a person falls, it can be easily informed. They studied thousands of falls and accidental falls and then realized that a typical fall would have this particular data. So the concept is to initiate algorithmic thinking. Starting from schools would be a very important thing to do. And every of them should have a valuable feedback. So in fact, we tried doing some of these so I'm attached to the Mega group here. So in the school, among the adult tinkering labs, we used this app, but somehow, as I've said, it didn't pick up because at that time, this was rather too early. So artificial intelligence is no match to natural stupidity. I mean, you could have stupidity in the sense you have data, which is not analyzable. What? Such a big asset is sometimes wasted. So now I'm just showing you how now this, I hope you can see this article that I wrote in the critical care book. The title was Hardcore Mathematics in Intensive Care. You know what? It took me tough time to convince the editor to write this article. He was so offbeat. He kept, Dr. Dev Pujari, this is not medicine. And this makes no sense to a physician. And it is all only mathematics. So you can see one formula going from 1 to the 4th page. And this formula, I tried to make it more simple for the editor. So imagine this is the formula on which our alveolar gas equation depends. This is the formula on which we ventilate our patient. And this is the mathematics on which I would know how good are my lungs functioning. But how many of you would think that this is medicine? So I feel, my personal thought, that mathematics should be a compulsory topic, at least in first and second MBBS. Because nothing can move without mathematics. I have a friend of mine who is a professor of ophthalmology in Johns Hopkins. He's a full-time engineer. And to me, an eye is more engineering than medicine. It's a lens, dioptric power, focal length, all kind of things. So it has to be algorithmic, it has to be mathematical. And this is going to happen. It is already there, like our ventilatory parameters, the one we made, we were so confident that what we're doing is correct because we knew our mathematics very well. And knowing that gives you the and mathematics is mathematics. It could be in Bangalore, it could be in Canada, it could be US or UK. Unlike medicine, mathematics will have the same hardcore structure to stand on. So I think we have to have all this. Now, this was one project with Bits Pilani. This is world's first such sensor, which is at the tip of the endotracheal tube. It is 4 microns by 4 microns. And I had an occasion to present this paper in ASME, which is the world's largest conference for mechanical engineers. It's like the Makkah Madina. It was attended by more than 18,000 people. And I was the only physician presenting this paper here. Now, that what you saw here is actually how this is, it took us 10 years to get the patent out of that. And now you see, I'll take you through this, how the AI works. Now see, this is the nanosensor that you can see. You can see the 4 quadrants. And when the electrical potential changes, this can deep down or can get elevated. So this is the same mechanism we use in iPhone for sensing the distortion of the sensor here. And the change in potential that would happen with this would be analyzed. And at this moment, we would analyze the pressures. So we can see here the pressures. You can see the typical waveforms that you see on a patient who is in a ventilator. And these are then submerged into a mathematical formula. As you can see here, the small little squares that you see here are those little bits which will then converge into a mathematical equation. And this is what the AI would be. So this will be world's first such sensor, which will be at the tip of the endotracheal tube and which will have an inherent AI in it. This was my research with Bits Pilani. And of course, all these researches take a long time. So this is the patent that we got out of it. So this was one of my TEDx talks. We are not students of a particular subject matter. We are students of problems and define the problem segment. Problems cut across the boundaries of subject matter. So if I have a problem and I have to solve the problem, I'll have to know everything. It could be metallurgy, it could be electronics, it could be embedded technology, software, medicine, hardware, whatever it is. So challenge of solving problems is very interesting. In fact, to me, it is like meditation. So when I have a problem in technology, I would focus myself on every of these aspects. And in fact, interestingly, the technology fellows are very open. So they give a position in the VNIT here as professor of making, because I made so many things. So we must, as medical institutes, open ourselves to engineers. Give them the positions. And I can tell you, they'll be more than happy to join with you. Without this, I mean, we could be good in AI, but on the boundaries bought from someone else, on the limitations bought from someone else. If we have to develop our own systems of AI, we have to our own segment standing for it. So this is what I would like to share with you all. And as the topic was such, I mean, I could have made it boring by showing the various formulas and the and the software making into AI, but I wanted to give this list of on which the AI is best, and the fact that we have a huge data, but most of it is unfortunately not analyzing. Thank you.
That is so awesome, sir. And we bow down in front of your knowledge and your attitude to as a problem-solving technology in spite of medicine, engineering, metallurgy, or any branch. That's so nice to hear from you. And we have another expert in this field. I request Dr. S.V. Kulkarni to start sharing his slides.
Dev Pujari sir, please stop share. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, organizers, for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you, Dr. Satish Devpujari, for creating a good background for him. पण यांचा प्रॉब्लेम काय यांच्यानंतर बोलायला आलं म्हणलं सचिन तेंडुलकरनी सेंचुरी मारल्यानंतर बॅटिंगला आल्यासारखं वाटतंय. So that is the biggest issue. But I will try to simplify the things in a very short time and in a very friendly manner. So you can see my screen. You can see my screen.
Yeah.
And the slides are moving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what I will be talking to you today. AI tools in practice. I purposely given my email and mobile number here. Don't take any screenshots. This presentation belongs to you. Friends, what I'm going to do for this next half an hour, they are just not futuristic dreams, but this is the today's reality. And I welcome you to this transformative world of AI-powered medical tool. It is not only a transformative world, it is a disruptive world, which has made a huge change in the practice all over the world. Of course, I appreciate the vision of organizers and getting this topic, which should be known to practically every doctor in the world. And thanks for the brisk introduction. Sometimes I don't give a very big introduction like this. This last line is more than sufficient. And previously, I used to work in Rotary for AIDS awareness and computer promotion. तर एकदा मला इंट्रोड्यूस करताना ते कॉम्प्युटरचे प्रचारक आणि एड्सचे प्रसारक आहेत असं सांगितलं होतं. So thanks for not making that mix up. Friends, I got some disclosures. I have not taken money from anybody. I must thank to you all. I got inspiration and inputs from my colleagues, especially my younger colleagues. Dr. Avinash Khare, Dr. Alok Modi, Amit Kumar De, Om Lakhani, he is from Ahmedabad. Dr. Suresh Shinde from Pune, Anuj Maheshwari from Lucknow. Janani is my actually student from Bangalore, Dr. Sagar Sina, Dr. Jyoti Dev, Jaideep Raidu. And there is one wonderful forum. Dr. Devpujari, you will definitely like to join this forum. This is called as the NCP Forum of Generative AI. And I picked up some slides from ACP presentations and plenary session, which was given by none other than Eric Topol. I do have some additional disclosures. Friends, it is a vast changing subject, difficult to cope up. And I am not a pediatrician. Neither I am a computer or AI engineer. I don't know coding. I have not developed any apps. But I will try to simplify the things and you will start using AI tools with confidence from tomorrow morning. This is a question asked by everybody. Can AI watch doctors miss? And this was answered in one of the plenary by Eric Topol, that how AI is going to change clinical medicine. This is the presentation outline, what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk only on 7 major points. Introduction, what are the basic principles? What are the examples of use? A bit more detail. Is there any bane? Really one? How to balance in your life? A peep in the future and take home and further readings for all of you. AI is not only well understood or interpreted, but sometimes misinterpreted. So augmented intelligence is a math, not magic. You can call it as a mathemagic, and it is going to be helpful and useful to all of us. Is this a new phenomenon or a tsunami of technology? No. In fact, it started in 1950 when Alan Turing had his first essay on artificial intelligence, but John McCarthy, 1956, he coined this term, which makes the use of computers and machine process to simulate human intelligence. It performs complex automated tasks very fast. It seeks to reflect the abilities of the human mind. And with AI-enabled machines are capable of exceeding it in number of ways, particularly shifting to large volume of big data, which is humanly impossible. Remember, there is a program called as IBM Watson. All the doctors of our Association of Physicians or Pediatricians, what they can do in 1 year in reading the research, it can do in 2 minutes. It sorts efficiently in order to identify patterns, anomalies, and trends. So it is not artificial, it is augmented, assistive, affirmative, add-on, accelerated, or aiding intelligence for all of us. Now, there are few types of AI. It is an umbrella term covering a variety of distinct but interrelated processes. People classify into narrow, general, generative, and super AI. We need not go into the details of it, but understand these 5 major principles. Machine learning, pattern recognition, computer vision. Do you recall a date? 11 May 1997, when a 2-time world champion was defeated by a computer called Deep Blue. It was Gary Kasparov who lost after 17 moves to the computer. Deep learning, convolutional neural network, or in silico models is the example of deep learning. NLP, natural language processing, and large language processing. These are the keywords of today. And robotic process automation, everybody knows what type of revolution it has given in the surgical field. So I just simplify. This is the whole artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a part of it. Deep learning is a part of it. But the data science covers everything. So it creates a computer system that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. Data science deals with everything related to data, including collecting, curating, cleaning, analyzing, and most important, wisely interpreting. So these are the broad 3 types of artificial intelligence. Stage 1 is machine learning, second is machine intelligence, and third is machine consciousness. Or this is called as the artificial super intelligence. We are somewhere exactly in between these 2. We are in between stage 1 and 2. What are the positive effects? It enhances your efficiency. Data analysis and insight is fast. It is available 24/7. Accuracy as the base, personalization, and safety and risk reduction. I just asked you a question. As a medical professional, what we have achieved? We have conquered some diseases, discovered new diseases. We have prolonged life expectancy, reduced suffering, increased well-being. But are you looking forward for a ray of hope, a magic wand-like thing, not a panacea? Yes. Then AI is the answer. As a medical doctor, we face a lot of challenges: increasing cost, explosion of healthcare data, dynamic, rapid, and continuous update of this data. Doctors suffer from increased burnout. There is a problem in prolonged drug vaccine discovery and drug trials. And the most important concept which I am going to tell you today is the rapid shrinkage of medical literature doubling time, a concept not thought previously. Our teachers who were graduates in 1950, they took 50 years to double the data. At my time, it took 7 years. When I just started my practice, it was 3.5 years, but 2020, it is just 73 days. This is the time when the medical literature doubles. It is not possible to cope up with anybody of us in a single way. There is a huge analytic. There are many algorithms who are approved, accepted, adopted. What is the basic thing? Is the data which is raw, then information which is produced. With then you go for knowledge, and then you develop your wisdom. So this is researching and absorbing, this is doing, this is interacting, this is reflecting, and then you achieve some result. This is our normal thinking process. I'm going to share you one more slide of similar type to all the attendees, but that explains it more in a positive way. What are the advantages of digital technology and augmented intelligence? No doubt, saves time, money, efforts, trouble and torture of travel. Example is telemedicine. Waiting time is reduced. Accuracy handles big volumes. But friends, please remember, it increases serum levels of confidence, concentration, competence, and enthusiasm. It makes you to acceptable and adaptable to the younger generation. And I'm sure this is the only vaccine against dementia. And AI is in and around us. It is ubiquitous, universal. It is next to the industrial revolution. We have seen abacus, calculators, computer, and chat GPT. We are in the era of chat GPT. It is a generative AI with an unimaginable outcome and potentials which you just can't imagine. AI is a big spectrum. You have got some rule-based logics. You calculate BMI. There are risk scores for cardiac disease, diabetes. Then there are predictive models. You feed in the data, you get the result. There are targeted neural rates, and this is generative AI. This is the way in which from deterministic, more targeted aspect, we are going to the probabilistic, more predictable target of our intelligence and decision-making capacity. You remember any new technology, what happens? There is a technology trigger, peak of inflated expectation, trough of disillusionment. There is a slope of enlightenment, plateau of productivity. Imagine what happens to the pagers, what happened to the CDs. Where are they? They are nowhere. And suppose if something new comes, imagine in 2023, still at the top, at the peak of productivity of the hype cycle is generative AI. This is called as a Gartner's curve, which scales a intelligence. Why a physician must know about AI? Global AI market, Statista, Gartner, and Survey Global Solutions, they say that this is one of the biggest growing market in the world. These are the number of publications which are increasing. These are the number of presentations which are there all over the world, and increasing use of the healthcare market. Huge increase in the healthcare market. We just 23 to 24%, nobody gives a CAGR. And what are the aspects of healthcare? Treatment, end of life, research, training, early detection, diagnosis, decision making, everything is affected. To put it into different words, it is a descriptive use, it is a diagnostic use, it is a predictive use, it is a prescriptive use, and it is a cognitive use. The cognitive use is the most important and the most difficult part of artificial intelligence. People may tell that, is it only for the Western countries? No. We have got evidence and we have got papers which say that in India is utilizing healthcare AI, and we are one of the top manufacturers of healthcare AI transformers. In pediatrics, precision radio diagnosis. Pediatric ophthalmology detects retinopathy of prematurity and congenital cataracts. Diseases like asthma require stratification due to heterogeneity of disease severity, and machine learning can improve. I'm going to give an example of that. And NLP, that is natural language processing, is effective in drug development and identify the most specific druggable targets. This was a new terminology I got. A druggable target from the chemical field, you can understand. References which you can utilize, they are all at for you in the presentation. So let us start a practical roller coaster of how AI is going to take down and help you in day-to-day practice. Fuel for AI is data science. The data can be very well organized, or it can be like my office, and I called it so-called organized data. But the process, the system, the structure, the knowledge, and analysis is all, friends, in your hands, how you keep your data. Start from a simplest electronic health record. There is an app called as a Calculate by QX. It has got multiple utilities. They are simple but ignored. Download it. Suppose you have got a protocol. An unconscious child is brought to you. ask for history of fall, altered sensorium, pupil size, lucid interval, exposure to any toxins. It can diagnose coma of various etiologies. If you are doubt, seizure versus syncope, it will give you 9 points to talk. There are dermato maps, there are functional outcome scores of all the complicated diseases which affect our body. Let us go to something very simple and basic of AI, that is called as a pattern recognition. You have to identify how many tigers and how many cats are here. You will take a lot of time, but machine learning identifies it very fast. Is it involved in our day-to-day activity? Yes. When I punch in my medical college, it recognizes my fingerprint, or for the residents, it recognizes their face also. And this is one very good website, Pushpak AI. How it is helpful? It recognizes facial and recognition, and it is from person to mob. It can recognize odd belongings, facial expressions, whether the patients are happy, negative, anxiety, not satisfied, argumentative, abusive, violent. And it will be one of the best vaccine to prevent violence in the medical profession. Facial recognition of emotions and violence prevention, one very good tool in psychiatry. This facial emotional recognition, it is based on real-time learner engagement detection system in online learning context, and it uses not only deep learning, it is a multimodal tool. So what is the multimodality? Text, audio, video, and numbers. So this is the reference which is going to tell you about how you pick up the emotions, and this is a continuous process. They can identify emotions of animals also, then definitely they can do it for human beings. How you can help it for avoiding medical errors? If you look carefully in this X-ray, your eye may not pick up a nodule, but with a AI model, it has picked up a nodule. So this is a unimodal supervised AI which picks up the things like this. And we have seen it in COVID time, that people have even picked up from chest X-ray, not only chest nodules, but they are diagnosed even type 2 diabetes using deep learning from the chest radiographs. Driving the future with radiology with responsible AI, Augmento Deep Tech. This is not a US activity. This is my friend Amit Kharat from Deep Tech, Pune. And he's omnipresent all over the world. One of the best examples how AI can be converted into a commercial venture. And there are AI solutions for medical imaging. This is called as the Occipit. And this has been used in Oxford University to have 73 patterns of X-ray known. And it just picks up right from the process of acquisition, image reconstruction, processing, analysis, pathology detection, diagnosis of condition like coronary artery disease, and treatment prognosis. AI can help you in the radiology, diagnostic, therapeutics. A single chest X-ray predicted even a 10 years heart attack, stroke, and CV death risk based rather than traditional ASCVD score risk, and 88% higher than the statin eligible patients. This is something which was published very recently in March 24 and presented by Eric Topa. So with the help of multimodal aspects of medical error, we can towards go to the eradication of medical diagnostic errors. And this is the real potential. Now from chest, let us go to the eye. Eye is called as the window to the body. But can you believe a machine eye can pick up diabetes, kidney disease, liver gallbladder disease, heart calcium scores, predict Alzheimer, predictive MI, dyslipidemia, hyperlipidemia, and possibility of Parkinson disease. These two diseases, everybody is really afraid of. But at least if it is picked up, you can take some preventive steps right from the beginning. This is a nature's collection. It is a foundation model for generalizable disease detection from retinal image. You need not even do a dilated pupil examination, but even with non-dilated pupil, you will be in a position to handle. So friends, eye is a window to cardiovascular health. It can diagnose smoking status, severe risk prediction, congestive heart failure prediction with 77% accuracy. This is a central illustrator from the paper which was presented in 2022 in the American Journal of Cardiology. What my friend ECG can tell you more than the waves: age and sex, ejection fracture, difficult diagnosis, anemia, predicting atrial fibrillation, diabetes, pre-diabetes, feeling pressure, pulmonary capillary wedge pressure, hyperthyroidism, kidney disease, and peripartum cardiomyopathy. Huge number of things. This is called as the AI-aided ECG, AI ECG only. It gives a very good analysis. From ECG, let us go to pathology. It is just more than hematoxylin eosilin stain. It can detect driver mutations, tell you malignant or benign, what is the site of origin, what are the structural genomic changes which have happened, what is likely to be the response to therapy, and what is going to be the prognosis. Medical oncology has been best benefited by AI in last few years. Radiology, ophthalmology, and pathology, these are the three fields which have been best benefited. Look at this. This is called as a histoviz, automated histopathology, not only for researchers. My niece from Kolhapur also uses the same technique to report any malignancy from anywhere in the world. As you go, the most difficult malignancy diagnosis is the pancreatic malignancy. But if you use a deep learning algorithm with these 10 parameters, with fair accuracy, it has been said that it can diagnose the disease trajectories. Smoking has been one of the biggest risk factors. So just to summarize, diagnostic by products of one system. This is a chest X-ray and it can do so many things. Mammography can detect cardiovascular risk. Abdominal CT can detect type 2 diabetes. Abdominal CT can detect a cardiovascular risk. Friends, I am not talking from science fiction. I am giving you the references of all these articles which are going to be here. Machine-aided point-of-care diagnosis, doctorless diagnosis. Yes, possible. Dr. Dev Pujari talked about atrial fibrillation. And indeed, the biggest medical data is with Apple, with Twitter, and of course with Google. Skin lesions and rashes. You can diagnose malignant melanoma or a fungal infection. Simple urinary tract infection. Pass the urine on this thing, on this card, and it will tell you whether there is an infection or not. Ear infections can be diagnosed and diabetic retinopathy vice versa. Another thing is, can AI pass a medical competitive examination? USMLE, everybody's, all our children, they don't want to stay in India because of obvious reason. And they want to appear for USMLE. So this is one program called as the MedPalm 2. These programs scored 86.2 when you need only 65%. And this is a large language model tested on 14 different languages. MedPalm 2 also perform expert in medical examination, not only for USMLE, but even for the CPCs of New England Journal of Medicine. 302 NEGM CPCs were organized. It was a randomized trial, and you can see the LLM for differential diagnosis, highest thing. Clinicians, when unassisted, only 30%. Clinician assisted, they went to 50%. So definitely technology makes a difference in all your things. Immersive technology called as augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive reality, mixed reality. These are the things which are used for rehabilitation, physiotherapy, occupational therapy. Doctors can practice surgical activities in the virtual world. And if you have got a phobia, like it can take an exposure to therapy safe in uncontrolled VR involvement. Best example, agero and claustrophobia. Phantom limb syndromes and new limb transplants. People think that this is a story I'm telling, but there is a possibility of new limb transplants, and that person needs a AI-based rehabilitation technique to recognize that the new limb belongs to him. Let us come to some very common things. Obstructive airway disease. This is an app and this is a smart spirometer. You use a PFT, early warning system, and this is not only a US, which has been done by one Dr. Sunit Jariwala, who is our very good friend. He has used advanced computational fluid dynamic tools to visualize lung parameters. And if you can predict a person's impending acute attack, you can take the necessary precautions. Okay, now from clinic, I want to come to conferences. How AI can help me in posters and making good PPTs? Yes, possible. You can have such a nice poster or such a nice medical poster through one app which is called as a AppyPie. And there is another one called as a BioRender. Now, please take this presentation, take this clue, click on it, put your text data, put your images, and within few minutes, you will get a fantastic poster in front of you. This is all for free. I want to do intelligent presentations. So Gamma is my friend who picks up the things. He picks up my text. He picks up my pictures and creates a fantastic PowerPoint presentation. If there is time, I can even demonstrate yours. When you are doing any PPT, please add quizzes, give awards, rewards, collect data. There are two things for that. One is called as a Slido and another is called as a Kahoot. They will make the presentation interesting. Last but one part of my presentation, how AI helps me in research. These are the different types of research molecules. Method is basic laboratory, clinical, and epidemiological. And these are the various aspects of right from communication, editing, review, and publishing support. So who is the boss? The master is the editor or the reviewer. And there is an organization called as the ICMJE, International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. And they have got their certain rules and regulations. And what are their rules? You must disclose, you must describe, you must tell about data collection analysis, and please don't list chatbot or AI as your co-authors. Ultimately, humans are responsible for everything. We must carefully review everything. Don't cite AI as a co-author. And even if you cite and if you pick up, I have got a tool. It is very simple, aidetect.com. And humans must ensure that there is appropriate attribution to the quoted material, including the full citations. Now you may ask, what is this aidetect.com? It is a simple website. And remember, this is .com. This is not .ai. Means this is not managed by AI. It is an AI violator, and it tells you how much human and error. And it has got things to tag like ChatGPT, Gemini Cloud, and Meta. This is the way in which it will look. So what you do is just sign up and put the text. So I put some text on my topic of height to waist ratio, and it told me very clearly this is only 8% human. Means 92% is a plagiarism from ChatGPT. OpenAI, ChatGPT is a thing of future. We should have one separate webinar on this, but there are huge number of possibilities with this. Is ChatGPT only one thing? There are many alternatives. Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Claude 3, and Perplexity. Perplexity is one of the best in-depth knowledge research, internet research and exploration. It is up to you to go and use this. Can generative AI help me in paper writing? 100% yes. It will evaluate 140 abstracts from 14 leading journals within 5 minutes and give you the diagnosis. For rare genetic disease, there is an app called as SnapGene. This has got huge files which will detect a single rare disease with so much of complexity. This is a different science by itself. There is one app called as the Illicit. The Illicit asks you, tell me about yourself and your plans. Searches for paper, extract data from papers, finds concepts across paper, uploads your own papers, and save results. If you pay more, you get better services. So ask him that I got a question and how you are going to help. Jenny is a research generator. It is a super chat of research paper called as just to tell in one sentence. It is write, cite, and edit chat for your research. It has got a store of more than 970 million words from academic research to the top ranking blogs. It quickly understands and summarizes your research, rephrases with your AI system. Last part of the presentation is you need a precise and accurate medicine. So you should have not only precise, but you should have accurate medicine. So there is a trial accelerator. This is published in Nature Index 2024, and it combines human faculties along with that touch, common sense, intuition, and medical training in helping you collecting the right drug. Imagine 2007, there are only 4,100 drugs. Now we have crossed almost 9,500. That is the way with the speed it is going. There is a communication gap, especially in the US healthcare. There is a lot of stress on pointing out all the details. So this is an app called as a Articulate Intelligence Medical Exposure, AMIE, and it is in the style of OSCE. Those who are teachers, they will understand what it is. Last part, how to learn dedicated journals. There is a Journal of Artificial Intelligence. There is a Journal of Intelligence-Based Medicine. A new kid in the block, New England Journal of Medicine, AI. And what we are facing here, that there is a low intensity of AI research in India. That is called as H index. When there are people like Dr. Dev Pujari, we can definitely go from this position of 19 to somewhere at least in 2 and 3. So my plea is to all of you that start using this technology, which is very easy, which is very simple, and you can also publish lot many things. Lancet Digital Health is another journal, and it is telling you the randomized control trials evaluating AI in practice. This is a scoping review. Unfortunately, there is only one from India, or there is none from India, but there are few from Bangladesh. There are many opportunities for next generation. These are the companies which are actively recruiting people all over the world. Friends, there are a lot of sources in and around you. Please send me your mobile number and email ID. I will add you to a group called as the Doctors AI or Aid MD, which will take you to the newer information every day. This was our humble attempt. Last year, we published a digital technology in clinical medicine monograph with my colleague and student, Dr. Sagar Sinha. Incidentally, this was my editorial which came in JAPI, that was a digital technology in clinical medicine, from Abacus calculators to ChatGPT. It is a good review of the progress over last 10 years. There are a lot many examples: Illicit, SciSpace, Consensus, PaperPal, and Explain Paper or Julius AI. They help you in research projects. This is the last inventory of AI tools, huge numbers. Search engines, brainstorming research questions, reading research papers, literature review, Iris and Illicit we just talked about, and there is one called as Site AI. This Site AI and connected papers. Just put the keywords of your papers and all the thing what you want to know, it will be there on the screen. Last, one more part is what is text to speech. So sorry, what is text to image? I just put down a word. I just felt so embarrassing that I have been scooped out in the center. The therapist who was sitting, he was taking notes, and this avocado says that I just feel so empty in the center. So this was just an odd idea which I had given to you. And within few seconds, I got these two alternative pictures. That is the image. That means you can convert from text to image, from text to video. These are the apps: Pixlr from OpenAI, Deep AI, and this is called as an image generator or video generator. Why we are not adopting? Why the practice adaptation is slow? There is a resistance to change, problems about reimbursement, regulation, transparency, trust, and implementation. Just to summarize, advantages: using more effective search engine and pick up results. The brainstorming tool summarizes the gist of material and levels ground for those who may not be struggling with grammars and language. If you are not good in your grammar, don't worry. There is an app called as a Grammarly. Just put it in on your Google and your desktop, it will correct all your spelling mistakes. But the cons are over-reliance on technology, lack of teaching on critical thinking, intelligence plagiarism, or we are going to go from blunting of the creativity? Are you going to go a intellectually idiot people? Friends, disappointments start from expectations. So from AI, don't expect too much, too fast and too easily. The greatest danger of AI is that people conclude too early that they understand and they know it. There are diverse opinion of people. Too quick adaptation and too much expectation is harder. It is adaptable, but it needs to be adept. So AI is a companion, not a competitor, but it is a comprehender, it is a catalyst. It is a friendly, fluid, functional facilitator. I give an example. I got a patient of acute emphysematous pyelonephritis, serious condition diagnosed by AI. But it cannot convince, counsel, and comfort the relatives for a speedy intervention of a urologist as early as possible to put a digestate. There you need a doctor. So this is what I have understood. Incredible potential makes healthcare more effective. All depends upon data and prompts. Prompt engineering is very simple. It is common sense. Embrace AI carefully to create a future with healthcare is the better accessible, tailored to each person's need. It is personalized. Gold in is gold out. Otherwise, reverse also is true. So please have your Nirukshir Vivek Buddhi to know what you want. Caution to address ethical concern. Collaboration is must. You need honesty of all the partners. Healthcare providers need the right training skills. It is not that bad. Generative AI must be used with responsibility. Please ensure patient safety, privacy, and don't forget to preserve human touch, emotions, and empathy. Please remember, certain aspects are not digital. Compassion is a non-compounding in pharmacy. You don't get compassion in milligrams, micrograms. So there is no algorithm for any empathy. It has to come through you. So how AI is proving disruptive within pediatric medicine? It is useful, but associated with challenges, opportunities, and the need of explainability. Should be viewed as a tool to enhance and support clinical decision making rather than substitute for human judgment and expertise. Future research focuses on obtaining quality, uniform, comprehensive data. If IAP, Raigad, and Palghar decides that they want to have uniform data, you can be much more better than any hospital in Boston or New York. So there is that ensure that generalizability of research finding is possible with the help of augmented intelligence. So friends, please make a switch from old to modern. If the one of the Wright brothers Wilbur use a WhatsApp call or बोलता है कि आजा मेरे गाड़ी में बैठ जा, you will not sit in his plane. You will definitely prefer a 380 Airbus, which can travel for 15,000 kilometers at a stretch. So please be optimistic, futuristic, utterly in your and determined to build a bridge of knowledge, AI, and technology that will help you in a long way, and it will really shine your practice different from others. And must not forget the driving forces for this. This is my batch of 1974 from Miraj Medical College, my family, my teacher, Dr. R.D. Lele and Dr. Sortur, who are going to be, who were the people who taught me about clinical medicine. आणि या सगळ्यांचं मत एकच पडलं होतं की आता याचा नॅचरल इंटेलिजन्स कमी होत चाललेला आहे, याला आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्सची गरज आहे. म्हणून बऱ्याच माझ्या मित्रांनी आणि बॅचनी मला या विषयात जास्त लक्ष द्यायला सांगितलं. आय कांट फॉरगेट माय वनलेस हॉस्पिटल and the organizations which are helped me and promoted me in talking about AI in clinical medicine. Thank you very much for all your patient listening. I know that it was very long and very exhaustive thing, but I hope I could make some change in the things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. S.V. Kulkarni, sir. आणि तुम्ही सांगितलं तसं switch to modern technology म्हणून I have asked ChatGPT to give you compliment, and they have given this a beautiful poem. Your voice, a symphony of grace, enchants us in this sacred space with eloquence and wisdom too. You have captured hearts with all what you do. And this poem is for Dr. Satish Devpujari sir and Dr. S.V. Kulkarni sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Now I request Dr. Vikas More sir to give vote of thanks.
There are a few comments on our chat box, and most of them are compliments. I don't see any questions. And both the speakers have explained their subject so well that probably we are overwhelmed with the knowledge. Over to Dr. Vikas.
Can I ask one
Yeah.
question to Dr.
Yes,
SP?
sir.
Yes,
Devpujari sir, you told how apps can be generated, and SP Kulkarni in short told how these apps can be used. But let me ask you one question, Dr. SP Kulkarni. Now patients are they have started using Google and they ask us a lot of questions. My question is that if they start using this AI, what will be our position then?
no.
They
This,
will have all their diagnosis,
no,
they will
this,
have everything in their hand.
this
And
question is
AI will,
this question is asked and in every presentation.
I don't know, I attended for the first time.
Maybe almost at 50th or 60th, I've stopped counting now. But AI cannot replace a doctor, number one. What information the patient gets from Google or from ChatGPT is a collective information. It has not been formulated in other way. If you ask ChatGPT, give him symptom complex, the first two sentences will be, I am not a medical doctor. And I am compounding this from the data which I have got up to 1920 to 2021. If you ask what happened in March 2024, it will not give answer for that. And please tell the patients, the digital technology or Google cannot touch you. Your brain
Human
is
touch,
much important. Your empathy is more important. आणि डॉक्टर दाभाडकर तुम्ही तर आता महाडमध्ये इतके वर्ष आहात, तुम्हाला असे पण पेशंट असतील नव्हे की कानाखाली आवाज काढा बघा, तो नॉर्मल होऊन जाईल. देवपूजरीला पण म्हणते की तुम्ही लाज जरी मारली तर आमची पाठ दुखायचं बरं होतं. Okay, so that see we are very lucky. I put it
I agree.
forward in there. We are seeing those the dialer phones also. काळे फोन असायचे ना, जड एकदम 2-2 किलोचे. From that we have come down to smartphone era. We have come down to ChatGPT. We are a witness of a very big revolution in the technology, and we must utilize it. Now a time has come for Dr. J. Devpujari is definitely senior to me. For those who are we are around our 70s, we should delegate our work to our colleagues. And it should not be only a delegation, but it should be a delegation and empowerment. If I want to do some research project, मी त्या मुलाला सांगतो की माझं नाव सगळ्यात शेवटी घाल त्या पेपरमध्ये, इवन दो आय माइट हॅव हेल्प यू लॉट गिवन ऑल द थिंग्स. अँड इवन विथ व्हॉट एव्हर डेटा, आणि काहीही एक्स्ट्रा करायची गरज नाही, साधा एक्सेल मध्ये डेटा ठेव. एक्सेल इज वन ऑफ द फॅन्टास्टिक अँड इग्नोर्ड रिसर्च टूल. मी तुम्हाला आत्ताच नावं देतो 2 डॉक्टरांची. एकाचं नाव आहे आलोक मोदी आणि एकाचं नाव आहे अवनीश खरे, आणि तिसरा आहे अमित कुमार डे. तो तुम्हाला 1 तासभर ना, ही विल मेक यू टू बी ग्लूड टू द स्क्रीन. Glued to the screen. And now we have got fantastic academicians like Satish. I can see Mahesh Mohite. There are so many other people. See, we have got huge knowledge. We have got huge research fuel in our day-to-day practice and in our mind also. But it has to be done in a very proper way. I give a simple one example. Forget Dr. Bavaskar would not have been there. If a child comes with acute pulmonary edema, breathless and sweating, had you thought of pulmonary scorpion sting causing pulmonary edema? And then the drug like Prozopris, which is going to reduce the mortality from 100 to 0%. So this kind of cooperation and this kind of combination, it is required. म्हणजे सिनियरिटी का जोश आणि जवानी का होश असं कॉम्बिनेशन पाहिजे. बुढापे का नाही म्हटलं मी, सिनियरिटी का म्हटलं. मुद्दा तरी पण मी आता केस काळे पांढरे झालेत म्हणून मी मुद्दा माझा फोटो काळ्या केसाचा ठेवतो.
केस बदलायला निदान केस आहेत तरी तुम्हाला रंग बदलायला आमचं ते पण
Sir, already
It's too late.
10:35. Yeah. Over to Dr. Vikas More for Thanksgiving. Vikas sir आहेत का?
Yes. Thank you so much, madam. Whatever I learned, that I understood that the truth is non-negotiable. So we should focus on the truth, which is not non-negotiable. So whatever data we are going to collect and that has to be applied, has to be authentic. Then only the artificial intelligence will not make us stupid. It will make us wise. So the India should learn how to collect a transparent data. So first of all, from my heart, I thank Dr. Satish Pujari sir. He just gave a wonderful talk on this delivery of oxygen just few days back, and then he again agreed to give such a nice talk again. I was very surprised that he consented to give a talk on this topic. I think this topic is close to his heart, so he must have accepted our proposal. And actually, initially, this topic was designed for Kulkarni sir only, but Kulkarni madam found out Dev Pujari sir. So this is a wonderful addition for IP Raigad, and Dabarkar sir was so happy that Dev Pujari sir and Kulkarni sir is going to present. So I am thankful to Dev Pujari sir, Kulkarni sir is such a gem, and whenever I talk to him, I learn something new every time, and he believes in spreading the knowledge, engaging the juniors to adopt the new technology so that their life can be better. And after that, I thank the Dabarkar sir for graciously accepting our request, and he has attended the whole CME. He listened to that, and special mention of Jayashree madam, who, like as I told, she is a sisterly branch. If this time I am correct, Falguni is a sisterly branch. We try to do a good topics for coming year. There are many. Like next month also, we are planning a very wonderful CME. I will not reveal now, but we are planning a very good CME in coming month. Then Mahesh Moite sir, Anjali Gokar madam, Hemant Doshi sir, like Doshi madam. Many people have attended our EB, Dr. Mateen Sheikh, and I can't take, like, there are so many. I see so many seniors have joined, and I think there are from all over India the people have joined. I posted this link in IMA groups also, in various groups. So from people from IMA also joined, and I see from South India, North India also people have joined. So this is a very great learning. For the short of time now, I'm not taking all names, but from bottom of my heart, I thank you everyone for joining and listening to this wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Because there are people who are joined from USA also. There are
Yes.
people who are logged in from USA also.
USA also.
हे
So this is
विकास
a
आणि अंजलीचा प्रॉब्लेम काय ते सारखं मला एअरपोर्टवर भेटतात आणि काहीतरी नवीन
Yes. Also, thank our Raigad
Thank you.
IIP members, our editor, Dr. Neha Singh, and our technical wizard, Dr. Vishal Raut, for making this webinar happen.
And we acknowledge the presence of Dr. Yashwant Patil sir also.
Dr. Yashwant Patil sir, our senior from Nagpur, he has also joined and appreciated the whole knowledge bank. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Neha. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Shall
Bye.
we end the meeting now?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yeah. Neha, please.